Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with my illustrious co-host, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
Welcome, everybody. If you've seen from our title, is Prey the best Predator movie? That is our topic for the day. So I'm pretty excited about having this discussion. This may be a movie fight. So anyway, that is what we've got going on today. Mike, what have you got on your docket for the day?
Well, I don't have a lot in the news. One thing that I saw I found out that I thought was interesting, I thought we'd bring it up and discuss a minute, and we may even bring Megan in to get her thoughts on this. But so the other night I was talking to my nephew Dalton. He calls me every once in a while. He lives out in Colorado, and Dalton's like, "Uncle Michael, did you know that there's a Winnie the Pooh horror movie?" And I was like, "What? A Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Are you kidding me?" And lo and behold, he was not kidding. There actually is a Winnie the Pooh horror movie coming out. They just released the trailer. So apparently Winnie the Pooh is our chat is having problems. Can you see the chat? Anyway.
I can't see the chat. Yes.
Okay, good, because I can't see the chat. It's having a problem.
Hey, Brian. Blood and Honey, Brian said.
Yes,
hey,
it's
Brian.
called Blood and Honey. Sorry, I got off topic there. Anyway, apparently Winnie the Pooh has went into public domain, so pretty much anybody can take the character and run with it at this point.
That is correct.
So some company decided, I don't know what company it was, they decided to make a horror film out of the Winnie the Pooh. Oh my gosh. So right. I wanted to bring Megan in because Megan is a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. When Megan was little, I bought her so we went into Sears one time. Does anyone know what Sears is?
Right.
We were in Sears one time, and Sears had this gigantic Winnie the Pooh bear. Okay, it was like bigger than she was. She was about two-ish. Megan's always two in these stories. Anyway, but she saw the Winnie the Pooh, and she instantly fell in love with Winnie the Pooh. And I didn't have the money to buy that giant Winnie the Pooh for her. We did eventually get her a giant Winnie the Pooh. But so I bought her a little one. She carried that Winnie the Pooh everywhere she went. So, I mean, everywhere she went. She couldn't go to sleep without it. She couldn't go anywhere without it. The problem is she would also leave it places. And then we had to go look for it because then she'd freak out. I lost Pooh Bear. So there was one time I took her, she and I went into a paintball store that used to be in Fairview Heights, no longer there. And because back then I was into paintball. And so, we shopped around in the paintball store. We left. I get all the way home, and Megan goes, "Daddy, where's Pooh Bear?" And I'm like, "What? You don't have Pooh Bear?" "No." I was like, "Oh, no." I was like, "Well, it's got to be at the paintball store. That's the only place we were at." So I call them, right? And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we got him. He's sitting on our counter. He's kind of our mascot right now." I said, "Well, I need that bear back." And they're like, "Well, you can come get it tomorrow. We're about to close." I go, No. You don't understand. You are not closing till I come back and get that bear from you. I said, "She will not sleep without that bear. You will not close till I get there and get that bear." So I had to run all the way back there. It took me about 15 minutes or so. And sure enough, I got her bear back. So Megan is a big Pooh Bear fan. So I just wanted to get her take on the idea of a horror flick of Pooh Bear. And
horror Pooh Bear.
So Megan, come in. Are you ignoring me? Come on.
No, I'm trying to look up things.
There we go. So, I mean, you're a horror fan too. So what do you think of this?
I haven't looked much into it.
I watched the trailer last night.
I haven't seen the trailer, but I've seen like whatever small clips that they've mini teaser trailers.
So you've seen what Pooh and Piglet, because
Yeah.
apparently Piglet's in it too. You've seen what they look like. What do you think?
It's interesting. I don't know. I'd probably watch it just to see it.
So I'll give you my thoughts on what I think they look like. You remember when we generally go to Six Flags for Fright Fest. We probably won't be doing it this year, but in the past we've just about every year we went to Fright Fest for Six Flags. They used to have a thing. What was it? The Pigman story.
It's for Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse haunted house.
Yeah, Piglet's mask does look like those.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think Pooh even kind of looks like that.
Yeah,
it's very cheaply made. It's very cheaply made.
Well, I mean, okay, so what I have found on it is that it's an indie film. So, yeah, it's going to be low budget. Where did I go?
Yeah, but you could have done a little bit better on the masks. I'm sorry. They just it looked like you went to what's the Halloween store? Spirit. It looks like you just went into Spirits and bought a pig mask and a bear mask.
Yeah. It's directed and written by Rice. I don't know how to pronounce it. Waterfield. And it's his own company. I don't know where that one just went. It's called Jagged Edge Productions, which he runs with Scott Jeffrey. So those two made the film, but it's not like it wasn't picked up it's not like a Blumhouse production, which is
right.
The most recent
horror films.
Big horror film, yeah.
So,
Studio.
but what is your feeling on this? How do you, because you grew up as a Winnie the Pooh fan, and that's, kind of your comfort.
I don't know. I don't know anything about. I haven't looked. Like I said, I haven't really looked into it. I've just seen the talk about it on TikTok, because that's where I get most of my media happening.
What was your initial reaction?
Confusion.
I mean, do you think this is something you're going to want to go see?
I like the idea of it, but depending on where they're going with it, I'm not sure. I really have to look into the story of it and try and figure out if they've released anything on the story. Because I've seen there's been theories and headcanons kind of things that each of the characters represent a 7 deadly sin. So I think if it was something like that, that would be kind of interesting, because I like those posts that I've seen on Tumblr and stuff.
From what I understand, it's Christopher Robin grows up and leaves the Pooh Bear characters, and they feel abandoned by him. And then I guess Pooh Bear and Piglet go nuts, and from what I gather, they kill everybody. That's what I gathered from the trailer anyway.
I have no desire. And let me tell you something. I grew up, I love Pooh Bear. I watched Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Robin was okay, but I loved Piglet. Piglet was my favorite character. I love me some Eeyore. That was fine too. But I'll be honest with you, this frustrates me that someone is trying to take on Winnie the Pooh. They are marketing. All they're doing is just, let's just do this because it's run out of. It's Winnie the Pooh is run out of. It's whatever. It's open domain.
It's public domain now.
Let's take advantage of that. Winnie
I
the
do
Pooh's
agree
still
that's
popular.
why it's
so
happening.
Well, that is exactly why it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And get ready because it's going to happen to Mickey Mouse too. It's coming.
Yeah, that's if Disney
they're
doesn't.
They're desperately trying
to
to work on that. By the way, yeah. It's
I guarantee you, somebody's got something in plan for Mickey Mouse.
Hope not.
I guarantee it.
I can just say, I guarantee there is probably better horror. You can find a better creepypasta with Winnie the Pooh, I'm sure, because I know there are creepypastas for a lot of Disney.
Oh,
things.
you could go all kinds of routes with Mickey Mouse. Come on.
What did you say? You said a creepy what?
Creepypasta.
It's a website for horror stories. It's all,
okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, you got to tell me these things. I don't know what these things
I
are.
was like,
Creepy
how
pasta.
did pasta
What's
get
that?
into this mix?
Is this a new slang?
We're talking about
term for
food now?
something? I know.
I only
it's
know.
in the fan fiction. Creepypasta is where like Slenderman comes from. Laughing Jack.
Careful.
And
Facebook will.
I'm matching them. I'm not showing pictures.
Okay.
I didn't say that one.
Yeah, I got in trouble on Facebook because we posted a picture that came from there.
Because the thing looked like it.
Well, yeah, it's creepy looking. I agree. Yeah, but anyway, I digress. I was just saying, be
Are
careful.
you saying it came from creepy pasta? You
Yeah.
posted a picture
Originally,
from creepypasta?
it's
that's
a
where.
creepypasta.
Yeah, it's a creepypasta thing.
Okay.
And I only know this
You
because
gotta
of her.
give me details. I don't know what you're talking about. There's some inside jokes you guys are doing.
I guess
don't
this
know
is
what
what
you're
happens
saying.
when you don't watch horror movies.
But creepy.
Well, this
it's
isn't
not
even horror
It's
movies.
not horror movies. It's horror
Well,
fiction.
Right.
horror in general.
Fan fiction.
Yeah. Well, it's own. It's not exactly. Not always fan fiction. It's more just short stories. Basically,
We've gone from Winnie the Pooh to horror fan fiction.
I was just about to say that.
that's what.
Well,
We
the
really
horror.
digressed, guys. Come on. Look at this. The penguin's swimming now.
I'm still on that topic.
well, that's only because the penguin's trying to escape this one. That's all.
I was just saying that I'm sure
like,
you
I'm
could
out.
find better ideas from creepypasta than
Gotcha. So you're saying
or
that.
any horror Reddit series.
So you're saying at this point you're not really interested in going to see it.
I'll probably watch it just to watch it, but it doesn't pique my interest.
It doesn't bother you that they're taking a childhood favorite and turning it into a killer?
Well, it bothers me big time.
Yeah. Oh my god. I am 35
I'm
years
used
old,
to the
and I
idea.
have been watching Winnie the Pooh since I was literally a baby.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about this. I have mixed emotions.
Well, Megan was too.
Because-
And Megan's had all the Pooh Bear characters and, she's collected all the Pooh Bear stuff. And
yeah.
we've watched just about every Pooh Bear movie there ever was.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden this pops up.
Again, I've also read stories. I've read horror stories.
With Pooh Bear?
Possibly.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I
Okay.
mean,
Oh
there's
my god.
okay.
We are at our 15-minute mark. I got to wrangle us back in, everybody.
Thank you.
I might have because there's I don't know if they're Reddit or creepypasta, one of the two, because both have horror elements. There's like Disney mascot horror stories that are really well written, and
Okay.
there might be a Pooh Bear one.
Okay. Well, I was just curious because you're a Pooh Bear fan and you're a horror fan, so I didn't know how this was going to strike you.
I think if it was being produced by a bigger if it was being produced by Blumhouse, because I actually really like Blumhouse.
Yeah.
If they would have came up with the idea and they would have had produced it, I probably would have been more interested in it.
I
Gotcha.
agree.
Of course, they
makes
probably
sense.
would have had better
Right. Yeah.
designs
Yeah.
and
It would have been
such.
better.
Yeah. It
Much
wouldn't
more
have just
better.
looked like a
Much
killer
more
in a
better.
rubber mask.
Yeah.
Right.
Much more better.
Much more
Cheers.
better. Cheers.
Right on. Well played, Angie.
All right.
Right.
Moving right along.
Okay, bye.
All right. Should we move into our Geekdar then?
Yeah, I won't take a lot of time on Geekdar because I got to save it for later.
Okay.
But two things.
Well-
One is
You don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it? Now, what is it?
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
It's not all he's lost.
Some people have
That's
said the
funny.
same about us.
right, by golly. I got two things, and they're going to
Yeah.
be real quick. Number one, it's when we have our full discussion about She-Hulk, I'm just telling everybody I'm not liking the show.
Wow. Okay, this is going to be really funny.
So-
Because I like the last 2 episodes better than the first episode.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's
I've liked them all.
it's okay that
That's
you
okay.
like them all.
We're not going to get into it now. I'm just saying we're going to have a great show when
And
we come
Brenda liked these way better than the first one. Also, she was not on board with the first one, but now she likes it.
back. The first one was okay for me.
I mean,
actually.
the first
So
one was
setting things
good.
up.
It was good, but I liked what we're seeing
Now,
going
did you
forward.
watch number 2 and number 3 together?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
See, I watched 2.
Now-
got frustrated as all get
You
up
see,
as we
I
talked
watched 2, and I'm like, I don't see why Steven's so frustrated with this. I don't get it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so
Right.
we said we'd continue She-Hulk when it wraps up. So we'll
Yes.
finish that
So
up later.
everybody, just so you know.
Well-
So I'm just foreshadowing for everybody.
Well,
It's going to be a good episode.
okay. So
And then my second thing up for bids is the Amazon show that just released the other night, Thursday night, the new Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power series.
oh, you like that?
So, I don't know where I'm at yet with it, to be honest with you. But I am. We're gonna. What are you doing, Megan?
I wasn't trying.
Megan keeps coming
Are you
in and coming out.
Did you want to come in?
No, it was. I was trying to fix it. I don't know what triggered it.
Oh, okay, I got it. So,
That's funny.
Anyway, that's funny. So, I think it'll maybe a good discussion when it's done. I'm just not for sure about the show yet. Visually, it is spectacular.
I would hope so. As much money as they spent on that show,
right?
I think
And
it's
part of my.
I think they spent more money on this show than any show in history or something like that. I think they set some kind of record.
Yeah, it's like $725 million or something like
Jeez.
that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it better be beautiful.
Right? Right? So, so anyway, that's just on my Geekdar. I'm watching it. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, and so I really wanted to see what they're doing. And I'm giving it a fair shot, but I'm not
Sure.
impressed so far.
Let me ask you this:
So
how many Steven skips during this?
I didn't skip. I almost did.
No Steven skips. Well, that's,
I almost did some Steven skips. I'm like, come on, move it along. Oh,
Angie says 462 million. That's still quite a bit for a TV series.
TV show. Mm-hmm.
I think that might be a record. Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Okay.
So anyway, so I am watching it. I am going to talk about it. You know, if we want to do a show on it, or if I do something separately with it, or something like that. So I'll let you know. Maybe we'll talk about it and stuff. But I am watching it. So those who are curious if I'm watching it, yes, I am.
Okay. So my Geekdar this week is a comic book. Go figure. So
Right on.
the other day I was putting away some comic books in my one of my long boxes, and when I did, I saw something. I'm like, I don't remember reading this, so I pulled it back out. It is DC's Dark Multiverse Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. This was from 2020. And I bought this because it was a one shot, and I was like, and I love Titans, and I'm a big fan of the Judas Contract story. I think I've seen every version of it. In fact, last night I was rewatching the Teen Titans cartoon series, their version of Judas Contract last night, since I read this and it was fresh in my mind, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to rewatch that. I'm thinking I'm going to rewatch all the versions of Judas Contract, and I think we're going to, and maybe reread the original. I think we're going to cover that at some point. Anyway, so this is a Dark Multiverse issue. Apparently, Dark Multiverse was something DC did a couple years ago. I don't know if they're still doing this. And it's almost like Marvel's What If. So they have a character similar to the Watcher who's kind of watching these things in different universes. And he even shows you the point of where everything changes. So like in this, in the original Judas Contract, both Wally West, the Kid Flash, he announces that he's leaving the Titans. He's going to go back to college. It's time to put heroing aside. And then Dick Grayson, Robin, announces that he is putting away the Robin mantle and doesn't know exactly where he stands yet. So it's a transition period for the two of them. So there is a conversation between Dick Grayson and Tara. Tara's the new one in the group at this point, and it's that point where everything changes in the story, because Tara's listening to Dick's reasoning for leaving the Robin persona behind, and Tara realizes, I could be way more than I am. And he thinks it's because of her brother, which I didn't even know she had a brother. But of course we all know she's talking about Deathstroke. She doesn't want to be Deathstroke's sidekick. She doesn't want to be under him anymore. So, she goes back to Deathstroke and she literally rips him apart. It's like, holy crap. I mean, it's pretty wild. And she steals the serum that Deathstroke took to make him who he is. And she takes it herself and becomes pretty much the most powerful character in the DC universe. And it ends pretty dark, by the way. So,
thus Dark Universe.
Yes, Dark Universe. It's a really good alternative story to the original Judas Contract. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Judas Contract. It's one of my all-time favorite Teen Titans stories, but this is a really neat take on it. Something I really, really enjoyed. And I think I bought it 2 years ago, and then I just put it away and never touched it again. And now I'm glad I refound it, and I was like, I need to read this. And yeah, I thought it was a good story. So DC, Dark Multiverse, Teen Titans, the Judas Contract. I'm pretty sure it's available on the DC Infinity app if you want Infinite app, if you want to go read that. So
I may pull it up and see.
And I'm sure somewhere you can find a physical copy of it still. I highly doubt it's gone.
Right.
So that is my Geekdar.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Teen Titans. There's a documentarian, a guy who makes documentaries, who he has one that I really like and enjoy. But he was doing an interview, and behind him on his wall, I couldn't wait to tell you this, were all these Teen Titan comics that were sealed and. Like, he's a big Teen Titan fan, you can tell. I mean, just all over his wall. He had probably at least 20.
They graded the graded comic books?
I think they were, yeah.
Nice. That's cool. I never graded any of my comic books. I just can't see spending the money to go get them graded. But
I know, right?
Some people are into that. I get it, But
what does that mean?
That means you send it off to get it authenticated, and they give you a value, and they put it in a special case, sealed case that you can't take it out of, which is another reason I don't want to grade them, because then I can't read them,
Right.
But if you want to sell them, it really makes sense, because some people want that. They want the graded. You can get action figures graded. You can get almost anything graded now. Trading cards, just whatever. Anyway,
right.
So, moving right along.
Moving right along. Let's do this because we're 26 minutes in.
Moving right along. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. I get the Muppets stuck in my head.
That's all right. All right, so let's talk Prey. The
Yes.
movie on Hulu.
Let's talk some Prey, shall we? I have comments.
Yeah. So if anybody listeners out there, you don't know about it, IMDb gives it this: the origin story of the Predator in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago. Naru, a skilled warrior, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth.
I'm going to fight back on that origin story, but go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Let's roll. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, should we rate it? And what are we using for rating?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do out of tomahawks.
Okay, 10.
Because she had that really cool.
Her name's
cool
Naru. Naru, is that right?
Naru. Naru. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I did like her tomahawk. That was pretty cool.
I did. I enjoyed that.
Yes,
I don't know how
Angie.
realistic that is, but it was still cool to see.
Yes, Angie, there will be spoilers. Spoilers will ensue. So,
yeah, we'll do this after we do our ratings.
Right.
So, yes.
Yeah, no spoilers for the ratings, but you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. So when this first came out, I had no interest in it because I've been kind of turned off on the Predator series over the last several.
I've heard that a lot from folks.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like, Predator, whatever.
And I loved the Predator. I loved the first two films.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. And I'm a fan of the second one. I know there's a lot of people who are like, the second one's no good.
I have a sweet spot because it was Danny Glover.
Right, right. Yeah, and okay, Danny Glover, he doesn't really compare to Arnold, as far as
Correct.
the action hero.
Agreed.
I agree, but I thought Danny did a good job in the second one, and I thought it was a interesting dynamic, because you went from the jungle, literal jungle to
jungle guerrilla warfare
to urban jungle, which I thought was an interesting contrast between the two films.
Agreed.
So going into this, I was like, I don't think I want to see this. I don't care. I kept seeing post after post by people I even knew who were like, oh, no, this one's awesome. This is the best Predator movie ever. Blah, blah, blah,
you
blah,
told
blah.
that to me because I was the same way. Yeah.
And I was like, Steven, I think we got to cover this. This.
Well, here's the other part of that is then the three geeky dads did their.
I haven't listened to theirs yet. I got to listen now that we've watched it. I didn't want to listen to their episode until we watched it. Now I can go back and listen to it.
I hurried up to watch it so I could listen to the three geeky dads podcast.
So I will hopefully get to that this week then.
It is a good episode.
Oh,
it is.
Tell me a three
dads.
Tell me a three geeky dads podcast that's not a good episode. Come on,
right.
Come on. We love you guys. Anyway, I saw that and I said, Steven, we got to do this. So I watched it this week. Yeah. It is not my favorite Predator movie. Predator 1 is still my favorite.
Sure. Okay.
There were things I enjoyed. I like the aspect of seeing the Predator in the 1700s. I thought that was interesting. Thought it was really cool. I liked seeing the different tech that this Predator had, because he had a lot of different tech from the original Predator and even the second one. I thought those were really cool. I don't know if I'd say improvements, just interesting differences, not to say that the tech was better or worse, just I liked it. I thought it was cool and it was interesting. So overall, that stuff, that is really good. I thought it was interesting that he was going after a Comanche tribe in North America. I thought that was interesting.
Yes. or just happened upon them, I guess, really.
I have a problem with a 13-year-old girl, and yes, I'm guessing her age, but a 13-year-old girl whose arms are as round as spaghetti, being able to take out a predator, an intergalactic hunter. That that's all he does. He kills. And she is an inexperienced 13-year-old female with arms as big as spaghetti, and she can take out a predator. I have an issue with this.
Okay.
So, with that said, I give this 6 Naru tomahawks, and that's as far as I can go with it.
6 Naru tomahawks.
Yep.
Okay. I absolutely loved this movie. I'm giving it 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Naru tomahawks.
Yeah, you and I see this completely different.
Right. No, that's okay. I understand your point of view. I may bounce back on. Well, I will bounce back on some of it.
No, that's fine. Wait. Before you go on. And I don't see how in the synopsis they can say that this is a origin of the Predator, because we don't get no origin. We don't find out what planet he's from. We don't find out. Well, I found out later from other videos that he's a feral predator versus the jungle predator, which we see in the original one. So we don't even find that out in the movie. So I push back on this whole, it's an origin story. It's not an origin story.
I would say I would agree with you that it's not an origin story of the Predator. Let me get into that in a little bit.
No, that's fair.
That's going to be a bigger discussion. I'm going to make a note about origin. I think how they're defining origin is misleading in that. But I do agree with you in the aspect. So let me just say that right off the top. It is not an origin of Predator. I thought this movie. I was surprised the nature of the film and what it is. I was surprised that it wasn't on the big screen, that it went directly to Hulu.
I think it would have been better on the big screen, actually.
I do. And just the way it was shot, just the way it looked, I was like, "Ooh, this is beautiful cinematography."
Yes, agreed.
So it got points for me on that, because I was constantly surprised on how they did the cinematography, not only the landscapes, but also how you got the predator view, you got the animal view of things, and it was I thought it was really just well shot and stuff. So, without going into much more detail, just for this overall review, I would watch it again, and so that gets extra points for me if I watching it again.
Okay.
Do I think it's better than the first one? That's something we'll have a discussion about. And
Hell no,
we'll discuss. I'm saving that for our discussion later on.
There are a few things in it that I really, really liked. I'm not saying I hated the movie. I didn't hate it.
Sure.
I just had a hard time turning off the fact that a little 13-year-old girl who is a minimal hunter.
Why do you keep saying she's only 13?
Because she looked like she's 13. Come on.
Did you know that actress is like 30?
No, I didn't. But she doesn't look 30.
Evidently, according to the Three Geeky Dads, she was in the TV show Legion, Marvel TV show Legion.
I didn't watch Legion, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's about Professor X's son, kind of a thing. She's in that show, and they say, yeah, she hasn't aged, and that was 10 years ago.
Well, okay, there you go. There you go, dude.
I know. I'm just saying.
She looks like a little kid. She really does. Hey, that's a compliment to her.
You look great for your age.
Right. That is a compliment to her. Look, I'm not saying the actress is bad. I'm not downgrading her. I had a hard time because I felt she was a kid, an inexperienced hunter taking on an intergalactic hunter. That literally, okay, spoilers, that literally killed a bear, lifted a bear above his head, and let the bear bleed all over him, which was a cool freaking scene, by the way.
It was a great scene.
And by the way, all I could think was, "Hey, bear."
Hey, bear.
Hey, bear. That's something we said when we went hiking with you guys. Hey, bear. But that's all. It was all running through my head. So yeah, the Predator, he can lift this bear over his freaking head, and this little girl can take him out. I got issues with this.
Okay, so let's start off.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was supposed to be, I believe, a Marine, an experienced combat unit, a full combat unit, experienced with weapons galore, could barely. In fact, they didn't even take him out. He ended up killing himself. The original Predator kills himself. Okay? They didn't take him out. They did. Arnold got him to a point where the Predator knew he was beat, which is why he kills himself. But they didn't take him out. So
I think there's a little bit more about story development than I think that needs to be brought up. Because
you mean that they needed to work on this story? I agree.
No. I think you're missing some stuff actually on the story.
Okay,
by golly.
tell me what I'm missing then. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first off, let's start Origin, and we'll kind of walk through. So, Origin, I think this is a great story of the first time a Predator comes to Earth. That's where I think they're misleading when they say Origin.
Okay, but there's nothing to really.
This is the first time
there's nothing really showing you it's the first time a Predator's come to Earth.
Oh, I disagree. I think within the story, it's very much.
Oh, you're talking about the connection.
Small things.
Are you talking about
Say that again?
Are you talking about the connection to Predator 2? Because there is a cool connection. I like that. I still don't know how it happens.
Yeah. I'm not talking about that yet.
Okay.
I will talk about the
right.
connection to Predator 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Which
now that I liked. I still don't quite. I can't put the pieces together quite yet, but
yeah, sure.
But I
that's
like
okay. So in the beginning, you see the Predator is, and this whole thing about a feral predator. How do you know? How do you know what kind of predator it is? There was nothing in the movie that told you that. So
right. Well, that's what I said.
So I agree with you on that. I mean, there's no way to know.
Well, now the comic books have established that there are different races of predators.
Right.
There's like the super predators. There's ones that enslaved others. There's just
what's encapsulated in this Hulu movie.
I'm just saying that there are Predator stories outside of the Predator films, which carried the Predator franchise for many years, actually. So, but anyway, go on.
So all I'm saying is what you see is first you see it's kind of neat how the film does it in the perspectives. This is some of that cinematography. First, you got the little, you got the little mouse, or oh man, I forgot to go back to get the sequence. But it starts off small. It's almost like this survival of the fittest kind of view, and then you see that there's the rabbit, there's the wolf, and you watch the Predator kind of figuring out who is the aggressor here,
right? Who's the top
of the
food
themes
chain
throughout this whole film that you begin to see first with the animals, and then you see it with people, is the Predator is trying to figure out who is a threat.
Oh yeah. Well, which I expect because that was established in the first film because the Predator he doesn't go after things that aren't a threat to him. I was telling Brenda, I think it was in Predator 2. He sees a pregnant woman, and he can tell through his vision, oh, she's pregnant. I'm going to leave her alone. They have, in their own twisted way, they have a moral code.
Yes, right. But I'm just saying that
it's kind of twisted.
Again, I'm looking at this just as encapsulated in the film itself, not trying to go through the rest of the things.
I understand, but you got to take the whole thing in perspective too.
The whole thing, the whole franchise.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. I just took this as encapsulated. Yeah, I was looking to see if there were connections to the other films.
Well, yeah, so but the whole idea of the fact that a predator doesn't go after anything. She even says he didn't see me as a threat. That's why he didn't attack me. He didn't attack me, which is, I mean, that's exactly what the other predators did too.
Right.
If it wasn't a threat, it was a waste of their time. You know, they're looking for a hunt. They're looking for something that's going to be game for them. You know, that's what they want.
Yes.
They don't want a simple kill. You know, it's kind of like Jurassic Park. Remember in Jurassic Park when they put the goat out or whatever to feed the T-Rex and all this, and I think it was Ian that says that's not what they want. That's not how a T-Rex wants to hunt. It's part of his instinct, you know. And I look at the predator the same way. It's part of its instinct. Right. They're not worried about I'll take out the easiest prey. No, they don't want that. They want a hunt.
Right. Okay. So now let me go back.
Sorry.
The thing with thank you. The thing with this is you begin to see the predator. This is all going back to the whole origin aspect, or a first predator comes, is because you see him take on a snake. He rips, you know, the same thing that he does with us. You got the head and the spine, you know, kind of a thing.
And his spikes go right through. I love that. That was a great scene.
Right. And so then you see, you know, okay, each one gets bigger. So then he's got the wolf that he does. Then you see the bear. You know, and it's like he's trying to figure out, okay, what are the threats here, so I can start hunting and attacking and that kind of a thing. And you're right, he does leave. If I don't think you're a threat, because he's not going to go after you. I think there are several times that he could have taken out the girl and he never did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, she even states that. I agree.
Right. So now I'm going back to there's the origin. That's why we think that it's the first time a predator is there. Obviously not the origin of a predator, but maybe the origin of the first time a predator comes.
I'll give you that. I mean, it makes no difference whether it's his first time on Earth or the first time the predator race is coming. To me, that makes no difference. But okay, that's fine. I can accept that.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying about the origin thing. I want to say that's where I think, because the implications of that are, this is where it began and it went all downhill from there, and they kept coming back, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about
it all went downhill, and again, I'm going to go back to an inexperienced, and I still think she's supposed to be a teenage Indian or Native American, whatever. Inexperienced. That is very important. She's inexperienced. She's not an experienced hunter, and an experienced, for the lack of knowing for sure, combat trained Marine. I'm sorry. I can't shut that off. I have a problem with this. I know,
and that's okay. Here's the perspective of where I come from. One, I think she's probably 16 to 18. I'll give you that. I don't think she's 13.
Fine. So, we'll go with that.
Now and then the aspect of her having spaghetti arms. I disagree with her. I disagree with you on that one, because I think she has she likes to do. She wants to do the hunting. Now,
show me the scene
with the film.
Show me the scene where her arms are not spaghetti. Show me. That's. Go ahead. Sorry.
I disagree, but that's okay.
Okay.
So the part that I'm trying to get to is, you see the character of her, where in the beginning she is inexperienced. Absolutely. That was the whole thing. Now, does she know how to hunt? Yeah, she knows how to hunt. She's learning, and she's a tracker. Plus, she has a healing aspect. You know, she's brought up to be a healer, kind of a thing. She understands medicines and stuff like that.
I'm fine with all that.
She is a good tracker, but I think with the hunting, yeah, she is inexperienced. But I did love the scene where it was her and her brother, and where they were, she was sitting there pulling the bow and just kind of waiting. And he gets frustrated and he just shoots it. Is like, And what did she say? She goes, I was waiting for it to come around. Have fun going and getting it, retrieving it, because, the walk and stuff. So I thought, okay, she's got a certain strategic mind with her about hunting.
Okay, all right.
Then we see her character develop a little bit more when she's going after, the rabbits and trying to throw the axe. And
sure.
And then, she's missing them. And
and I did like how she put the rope on the axe to retrieve it. I thought that was clever,
Yes.
And then they make fun of her for it. Oh, your weapon needs a leash.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
But I agree. She had a purpose for it, and it made sense, and it worked for her because she ended up using that when she gets stuck in the I don't know, quicksand, whatever it is. Which, yeah, by the way, that was funny too because she gets stuck in that. I guess it really wasn't quicksand, but it took me back to when I was a kid and watching all these cartoons and stuff, and everybody gets trapped in quicksand. And as a kid, I thought quicksand's going to be a problem when I grew up because it's always in this stuff, and yeah, that's never came up in life. So,
right.
Anyway,
right. So, all right, let me go back.
Sorry.
The aspect of her character and character development, she had the axe, and you saw her practicing with the trees with just the axe. And then you see her try to use it with the rabbits, and then she's not doing well. So then she gets the leash for, that. So she's developed, we see her developing her skills, if that makes sense. And so with that, she's also got a certain strategic mind about her as well. So she doesn't have just brute force. She also has strategy behind what she does. So yeah, I know I see the eye roll kind of a thing. I'm just talking about the character development of the film. I know I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to say this is how I saw it.
I'm just trying to let you have your say. That's all.
Right.
I'm trying not to frustrate you. That's all.
Anyway, that's the character side of the film. As we continue on, she because she's got the tracking and so she actually is doing better. Now there are times where the predator was right on her. I mean, the time where they were in the field, where and that was a spooky scene, by the way, where it's invisible and you see the grass moving.
Oh, I love it when he's invisible. I think it's so cool.
Right. Right. So, but then that's where she runs across the Frenchman. But just before then, the predator is there, and he's there. The predator's there,
yeah.
But doesn't take her out. Because why? Because, here's a bigger threat. I don't see her as a threat as compared to,
right.
These Frenchmen. And so then I'm like, he's studying them.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what he does. He studies to see who's the biggest threat, and that's who he goes after. And I get that.
Now,
I totally get that.
Now we get to the interpreter. The interpreter, remember, and he's the one that's talking to her, because they're talking in French, and then he's talking to her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's another thing that frustrated me about this movie. Okay,
sure,
so
go ahead.
So I've gotten to the point where when we do movies for the show, I turn the subtitles on, right? Okay, if you're going to have freaking subtitles and somebody's speaking in another language, you don't have the subtitles in that language. When they were speaking French, they had the subtitles in French. I'm like, what? This is stupid.
Yeah, I didn't go back to see if there was an English way to do it.
No, because when they spoke English
dub version.
Well, okay, Comanche's fine. I didn't have a problem so much with that, but when they were speaking French, it actually put it in French, and then when they were speaking English, they actually put it in English. That's just dumb. That's dumb. I don't speak French. Granted, I don't speak Comanche either, but I wasn't sure if they could really. I didn't know if they were actually really using Comanche or not. I have no idea what they were doing with that. So I wasn't I wasn't as frustrated with that as I was with the French. I was like, this is stupid. So just
right, because what were they saying and that kind of a thing?
Yeah, it's like this is dumb.
I had wondered. Because I was asking the same thing, and I had wondered if part of it was to put you in the perspective of the character, of the girl, to sit there and say, okay, she doesn't know what's going on, or she doesn't understand, and so
yeah. But see, we're the watchers, and we should know what's going on. That's
I'm I'm not arguing that. I was just trying to figure out why they would have done it that way. Because I was like, well, you can sort of know.
I already knew what the Predator was
don't.
doing. I already knew what he was doing. So why shouldn't I know what the French are saying? You know, that to me, that's just, I don't know. That was frustrating. I didn't like it. And I know that's because I had the subtitles on. If I hadn't had the subtitles on, I'd still be in the same spot. But that would have been by choice. So you put the subtitles on so you know what's going on. And I expect if it's in another language, it should be translated into, you know, whatever language you're watching it in. You know what I'm saying? So it was just something that frustrated me about it. But that's not so much on the film itself. That's on whoever, I don't know, whoever's in control of that. I thought it was dumb. So moving right along.
Right. It was difficult. I'm not arguing that because I was like, well, at least I kind of figure out what's going on, kind of a thing with them and all. So so then we see the whole French thing, and then he takes out a whole bunch of them. But if you notice, the guy who was the interpreter was the guy who gave her the gun.
Yes.
And I would assume that's his gun.
Yeah, I would assume so too.
I would assume. And so that's the gun we get kind of.
It's either his gun or somebody. It's either his gun or somebody he killed. One of the two.
Well, that's true too.
I mean, that's a possibility. He could have killed somebody and taken their gun. You know. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's true too.
It's hard to say.
So Prey is evidently set in 1719.
Mm-hmm.
In the flintlock pistol says Raphael Adolini.
Right.
That would make me think
with Raphael, the year 1719 on it.
It said 1715 on it. Yeah.
1715. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I did not look to see in the credits if they had the name Raphael Adolini, if it was that guy. Kind of a thing.
Oh, if he was
to do that,
if he was in particular that
if
guy,
it was him,
yeah, I didn't either. I don't know. I'm just saying it's probably his gun, but I'm just saying there is that possibility that he could have killed somebody and taken the gun. You know.
So what's the connection to Predator 2 with this gun?
So in Predator 2, Danny Glover does kill the Predator on the Predator ship, actually. Which is actually a pretty cool fight scene, by the way. He ends up killing the Predator on the ship, and after he kills the Predator, 3 other Predators appear, and they carry him off. They carry off the dead Predator, and then one of them turns to Danny Glover and hands him the flintlock pistol with the inscription on it. So it is the exact pistol that she gets in this film, which I thought was a cool connection. My problem is, how does it get to the Predators? Because she has it, and she killed the Predator. So does the Predator come back and the Predator kills her later?
Okay.
How does the Predators get the gun?
So who does she give it to?
Who does she give?
She gives the gun to the chief, is what I would assume.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now, did you finish watching the credits?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Did you notice the last scene? You
see ships coming.
3 ships coming in.
Now, okay, we should clarify that's in animated credits. That's not like a post-credit scene, filmed scene. You know,
right?
So. That way, if anyone's watching,
I took it as, since that whole thing, the whole animated section was really retelling the story. You know. So
what you're saying?
Form.
Do I go say that again?
No,
Sorry.
that's okay.
I stepped
it was
on
in
you.
Pictograph form.
Yeah, right.
So I assumed that was kind of a nod to what if there was going to be a sequel, or they did come back.
I think there probably will be a sequel, and I'm sure. Yeah, there's another adventure between this and what we see with Arnold in 1986. I want to say I'm not
87.
87. I was close. I was super close. Yeah, I would say, yeah, there has to be something because the Predator's got to take the pistol back somewhere. You know, he's got to get that pistol. So, but I thought that was a cool connection. I like that. I'm not saying I disliked the movie. I just had a hard time turning off the fact that I don't think she was experienced enough to be able to take out a predator. That's my biggest issue. I think if this would have been more of a, you know, her and the whole tribe take down the predator and you make her kind of the hero of the tribe, I think it would have been a better story, in my opinion. I think it would have made a lot more sense to me. But just, I'm sorry, I just can't shut it off. And I'm still struggling with it right now.
I'm not trying to convince you, and I want to respect your opinion. I get that. I disagree because I don't think it was just her. Because when her brother came with the horse, I was like, yeah.
Well, that was a cool scene too. That was a cool scene too. I like that.
Kind of,
but I still don't. I don't.
She had at her advantage the swamp thing, the quicksand thing too, as well.
As well as what? I'm sorry, you kind of trailed off there.
The quicksand for the for her, she used the quicksand to her advantage.
Yeah, that was a callback
to her advantage. The tracking.
No, I
thought that was interesting.
I thought it was clever the way she did it. I did think it was clever the way she defeated him. You know, using his own helmet to kill him. I thought that was interesting. So I mean, okay, maybe in that aspect, maybe I could accept it a little bit more. But I don't know, the whole she could cut off his arm and I just
well, she used his
still
tech
struggling with it
to do that.
I don't know,
and that's okay. That's okay. That's all right.
I'm just struggling.
I thought
with this.
There were two great phrases brought out of.
Well, we got to call back to the original
movie,
which is one of my favorite lines. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Of course, I'm going to quote Arnold because I like the way he delivers the line better. No offense to her brother, but I just like the way Arnold delivers the line. It's so classic.
So I like that one. And then there was also the do it now.
Wait a minute. I missed that.
Was in there. That I'm trying to remember when that part was. I can't remember when it was, but there was the do it now. So there were two fun phrases that it used, but I can't remember where it was. I just remember it. Okay. Do it now. Kind of a thing. My favorite one though was, I agree with you, was if it bleeds,
we can kill it.
yeah, which I thought was really, really good.
Such a classic line, and it's from the original, and you know it. I think every Predator fan likes that line, so you know, I think it was a given it was going to happen. I wasn't really expecting it, but then when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, I love it. Yes, awesome.
Right.
So cool.
My dog is barking. Sorry.
So
I would say that the reason I like Predator 2, and even Prey, and I do think that Prey is better than Predator 2 for me personally. I don't think it's better than the first one.
No, there's no way it's better than the first one.
Yeah. So each one of these, the Predator is secondary. You know, the Predator happens to be the quote unquote the Predator, if that makes sense. But you're really centered around an individual and their character. Like I thought in Predator, the team dynamics were great, but really it centered around, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
Well, yeah, but you also had Jesse Ventura, who the Predator puts a giant hole through.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's a great team dynamic about it. Yes.
We had some great actors in the first one. I mean, yeah, that first one's amazing cast. It really is. But anyway.
But you've got Schwarzenegger, the whole thing about, yes, I agree with you about all of them and being a platoon. You know, these guys who are hardened, battle worn,
combat trained.
Because you still had the tracker guy in that one who was like knew that the predator was there. Kind of.
Oh, and the tracker in the original one, he was an Indian too. He's of Indian descent, Native American descent. So there is a kind of a connection in some way to this and that one. So I forgot about that, you know, which was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
Maybe it's a long descendant.
I would love that.
Descendant.
Now, I would love that if it turned out that he was a descendant of her. That would be pretty cool. That would be a really cool. They need to write that in. They really, really do. That would be super cool. And like you know, this was a story told through his family or something. You know. And, and maybe eventually it was kind of turned into. We don't know if this is. You know, there's always a truth. There's always some truth to legends. So
right. I like that. So in Predators 2, it's the same story. You've got Danny Glover's character specifically,
yes.
and you're seeing them deal with the predator. The predator just happens to be the threat in the story. It's the same in the first one. It's the same in this one. And I think that's what makes these three, for me personally, stand out as compared to the other ones.
Well, I'm not going to say that this is. I'm not going to say anything beyond 3 is better than Prey. I definitely am not going to say that. There is no way I'm putting this over the original. I'm sorry, no, that's not happening.
I didn't put it over the original.
No, but I've seen some people who are like, "Oh, this is the best one ever." No, it's not the best one ever. In some ways, it's better than 2. I don't know. I think it and 2 come in close to each other. I think I put 2 slightly above Prey, but I think they're close. Because, again, Danny Glover is not the action hero that Arnold Schwarzenegger is.
Sure.
And I thought it was kind of a weird casting, but I like Danny Glover, so I was able to accept it, I guess. You know? I mean, yes, Danny Glover was huge in Lethal Weapon, but I still don't look at, which is kind of an action comedy, but I don't look at him in the same light as I would Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? So,
what I like about the 3 is that each heroine, slash heroine, each comes from their own situation, their own culture.
Sure.
Like you were saying earlier, guerrilla warfare.
Right.
Then the streets, urban warfare.
Yep.
And I think for her, it is the, for lack of a better term, open range warfare.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. And like you said, the cinematography in this is beautiful. It's a beautiful film. And that alone, I think it should have been on the big screen. I think that would have been much more better.
Oh, cheers, everybody. Much more better if it was on the silver screen.
That was the last of my coffee, by the way. I needed to drink that because it was starting to get cold.
Chug it. No, I'm just kidding.
I like my cold brew coffee cold, but I like my regular coffee hot.
Hot, right?
Maybe I need to start putting in the thermal mug.
Right.
Anyway. No, I'm not saying I didn't like the film. I want to stress that because I know I'm going to get some pushback on that from some of our listeners, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But it's not that I didn't like the film. I enjoyed the film. I thought the film was good. I just had a hard time turning this off, that I just didn't feel that she was experienced enough to take out a predator. That was my biggest complaint about it. I think if it would have been more of a group effort, I think the film would have been better. That's my opinion. Yes.
It'd been much more better. Cheers.
I don't even laugh, so.
That's funny.
And that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Well, I'll probably end up watching it again. I
may watch it again. I'm not saying I won't.
I did it. I did.
I Again, it's not I didn't enjoy it. It was a good
saying
movie.
You didn't enjoy it.
It's a good movie.
You feel like you have to keep defending it. You don't have to keep defending it. It's all good. Your opinion, just like everybody else. We tell everybody else, your opinion is yours. My opinion is mine. This is where you normally say, just then my opinion is wrong. That's okay. I get that. I'm joking. I'm being silly. But I mean, it's okay to have the different opinions.
I'll give you
this.
this.
I do see your perspective, though.
I will give you this. After our conversation and looking closer at her battle with him, and her outsmarting him with his own tech, I'll move it up a notch to 7.
Okay.
I'll go from a 6 to a 7. I'm willing to do that. I still will not put this above the first Predator. There's no way.
No.
It's never going to go.
I don't think it's better than the first one.
I don't, honestly, I don't think they'll ever top the first one. I don't think you can.
Even for what did we say? 1987.
Yeah.
Even for a 1987 film, it's still
It's such a classic 80s.
It is a classic
80s
monster movie, for lack of a better term. I shouldn't say monster movie, but
yeah, well, yeah. Brenda kept saying, "I don't like horror." I'm like, "This isn't horror." Yeah, it is. Look at how many people, how many things he's killing. I'm like, yeah, but it's not horror. It's more action, is what it is. It's not really horror. I know the Predator kills, but
ooh. Let's just say what Google says. What genre is Predator?
I don't think it's horror.
American science fiction action film.
Yeah, see? Yeah. That, to me, that fits it much better. Much more betterer.
Yeah, yep. Drink again. We're hitting it hard at the end of the show. Action sci-fi is what Google will put it in. Action sci-fi.
And I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. But my wife kept saying, "This is horror." No, it's not horror. You don't know what horror is.
All right.
Let's watch Halloween.
Hey, let me go off the rails for a second.
Sure.
I saw some article. I didn't know if you knew about it or not, but somebody's redoing Hellraiser, and there's a new Pinhead.
Oh boy. Oh boy. They tried to replace Freddy, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't go over well.
Yeah, there's a Hellraiser 2022 reboot movie. Just yesterday, they released the first picture of the new Pinhead. And Jamie Clayton, I guess, is the actress.
Oh, it's a female.
It is a female Pinhead.
I mean, they've had female. I don't know what they call the Pinheads. I don't know what they call them. I don't remember. I know there's a name for them.
It comes out. Hellraiser is an upcoming 2022 American supernatural horror film directed by David Bruckner, with a screenplay by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski from a screen story they co-wrote with David Goyer.
So Clive Barker has nothing to do with it then.
Mm-mm.
It's going to flop. It's going to flop.
It comes out October 7th.
Yeah, that's Clive Barker's baby there. That's his legacy. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I had to see a trailer.
I still need to watch it.
Hellraiser?
Yes.
The first one that's one intense film for sure.
It's an intense film. I watched that with you.
Yeah. We went and seen that in the theaters.
Yeah. Well, Clive Barker's 69 years old now.
So? You want me to get into age? No, I'm not going to do it.
I'm just saying.
I'm not going to do it. Anyway. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't know.
All right, sorry. I took us off the rails. I apologize, everybody.
No,
I was just curious
that's cool.
if you'd seen it because I saw something about it and knowing that you're a Hellraiser fan. So.
I had not. Yeah, I'm a Hellraiser fan, but not. I'm not into Hellraiser as much as I am Halloween. I like Halloween better. Hellraiser's the original. I think is the best of those films. After that, it starts to get diluted, and I don't know. It's just whatever. So I had to see this trailer and see if there is a trailer for it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
That may not be a good sign, right?
Well, I mean, if they're just starting development and stuff, you might just see a picture of her from makeup and, them just starting to design all this stuff. It could be very early in the works. So,
yeah, it says October 7th, 2022. So that's only a month away.
They better be ready.
Oh, if you don't have a trailer, that's not good.
Wait a minute, October this year?
Yep. Oh, it's on Hulu.
Oh, it's going directly to Hulu then.
It's a 20th Century Studios.
See, that doesn't give me much confidence.
Just like Prey was.
Right, but that doesn't give me much confidence. Hellraiser, well, I don't know. I'll have to see a trailer and see what I think. I'll probably watch it just to see, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm more excited. I'm more excited about Halloween Ends than I am that. Which I have a prediction for Halloween Ends.
Yes, please tell me.
I'm predicting Laurie's the one who dies. I don't think Michael's going to die, because how do you kill Michael anyway? We haven't been able to kill him in 40 years, so
they'll do both.
I think there is a possibility of that too. You take them both out at once. They both go out, like Laurie goes out in a blaze of glory type thing. Laurie in a blaze of glory, nice. I'm a poet and didn't know it.
Very good.
But I don't know. I just got a feeling Laurie's going to die. I think this is it for her. And I just can't see them going, yeah, this is really the end of the Halloween franchise, because that's not how these things work.
Right.
So we'll see. But my prediction is Laurie's going to die, and that's why I think it's Halloween Ends, because she dies. Not necessarily Michael dies, but that Laurie dies. So just my prediction.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens.
Yep, we definitely will, because we're covering that one.
We are, and I've watched both. I watched 1 and 2, or
2018. Just call it the 2018, because that's what
the 2018 and the 2020.
Well, you can call it 2018 and then Halloween Kills. That's what it is. It's 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. And then there's 78.
Good to know.
The 78's the original.
Okay.
And still the best, by the way.
That's funny. All right, everybody. Well, we are wrapping up on the show. I just want to encourage everybody. Thanks for being here with us along the ride. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I want to direct everybody to our 2geeksmike.com. That's our website, 2geeksmike.com. That's really our hub for everything. Pretty excited about all that. Where you can find our merch page. Big shout out to Andrew Staples from
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Andrew bought a t-shirt. You can see a picture of it on our Facebook page.
Yeah. 2 Geeks Mike, you can get to our Facebook page from there. You can also get to our Ko-fi page from there, where you can help support us. It's just paying for all the stuff that we need to do for the show. But we've got a $1 tier, a $2 tier, and a $3 tier. We've got several sci-fi episodes up that we do specifically for our supporters. So please listen to those. Those have been fun to do. If you want to connect with us, check out our website our email at show@2geeksmike.com. You can get there from the website as well. Love hearing from you guys. Every now and then we'll get a suggestion, or somebody, trying to connect with us. So feel free to use that. Again, I want to double check, go to our Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com, 2geeks/2geeks. And there you can help support us as well. All right. Am I missing anything else? We got our Discord thing, but we haven't been using that, or I haven't really updated it. My bad on that. So, but we'll get that into play as well.
Well, we need some people to join so we can get a thing going on Discord. So join Ko-fi, and then we can really start taking off on that Discord. I just wanted to apologize if anyone made any comments in the chat. I couldn't see you at all. I had a problem with the chat on my side, so I just wasn't seeing it. So if anyone had any comments that I needed to see, I apologize for not responding. So,
Angie did a lot of interaction off of our stuff, saying
Good.
Nice, sweet. She's going to do that on her channel.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right. I think that's all we got, right?
That's it. That's
All right.
all I got. So it's all up to you, my friend, to sign us out.
So with that said, over and out. And remember, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,